Greetings, listeners. How's it going? Welcome to the podcast. This is a beautiful podcast where we talk about whatever we want, whenever we want, however we want. Each round we have one judge who is sitting in the lovely fucking hand chair. Oops. Don't care. Didn't ask.
You showing it off?
No.
I was gonna say, let's see. We will have one judge and as the host and a few competitors, and whoever brings the most interesting, intriguing story shall be crowned the winner and judge of the next episode. Yes, we're ripping the format directly from the much more popular podcast Distractable, because we're not that
Creative?
There you go.
Hey!
I'm so
Original? Creative?
Regardless, this is our podcast. These are our experience. This is Gamers. I'm your host, Madi. I'm joined with Phil, Carly, Ashley, and Ashton. Who are you guys? Oh,
Oh god, here we go.
Oh my god. So I woke up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. And then it was already 5:45 a.m. I had to be at work about 10-15 minutes away at 6. Then I went out to the car.
Mm-hmm.
Had to put my gloves on and everything. But this is an important part of the story. I refuse to wear my favorite gloves, which are my good gloves, because I lost those at work for like 6 months. I did find them. It was a miracle. And I didn't wear my earmuffs today. That was a poor decision. This morning was the first morning where temperatures in Wisconsin have been single digits. It was 7 degrees outside at 5 a.m. Well, 6 a.m. about. And I put in my key, and my car did not start on the first try. That is normal. My transmission, something, is broken. But it's usually fine after, like, the second or third try. Sometimes the 10th, and me and Carly were really scared we wouldn't make it back from the Dells, but we'll talk about that later.
Will we?
Like I would put in the key, I would go forward to start it, and then I would leave it, like, in the on position. And when it was starting, it wouldn't do anything. But when it was in the just car on position, it would make like a sound that was just awful from the engine. It sounded like the engine was just dying. So I was already late to work at this point. So I decided to go get my mom from inside. She was still very asleep. But I got her to come out and help jump my car. On the way out of her bedroom, mind you, I was holding my AirPods with my gloved hand, and then I dropped them. They slipped out of my gloved hand, and both AirPods dropped on the floor. And it was so inconvenient and so enraging, and I was already a little bit upset. And then we went out and jumped the car. Mom had to move her car, like 3 or 4 times, because it needed to just get closer, because the cables were not long enough. And then, oh my god, Mom's battery is the most frustrating thing. There's this plastic cover over the positive side that it's supposed to have a lever. It's just nowhere. I was just trying to rip it off at that point. Mom tried for a while. She had thinner gloves. And then the solution, I found where the lever was. It's like in a crack, like between the battery and the rest of the engine. It is just so hard to get down there. I could not get down there with my gloves. So I had to take my glove off. And it's not like a nice soft lever that's easily movable. No. It is a sharp corner that you have to put all your force into to lift up the tiny plastic thing covering the thing. And I did that with 7 degrees outside with my bare finger.
Fingy.
It was awful and hurt so bad.
Bare fingies.
But I did get it open, and we did jump the car. Oh wait! Before jumping the car, I did flip around the key and try to start the car that way, and that was more successful. The first it was like, you know how starting a car goes like, but this was going like.
I don't think it's really
and then it
like
stopped making that noise and just started smelling like something was on fire. So I stopped trying it. But also when I plugged the jumper cables in, I wasn't paying attention because it was 6 in the morning, and the opposite end was stuck together. So for like a minute straight, I was just feeding the battery's power into itself through these jumper cables. Like, that you are not supposed to do that. That is bad. Like, you know when you touch two jumper cables together and they spark? Well, Mom did that as an example, but when Mom picked up the cables, they were stuck together, because after they spark, they stick together. They were just, oh my god. But then, we eventually got it jumped and everything, and the car's turning on.
Audio mechanics of our audience, we are so sorry.
But every time it did anything, and oh my god, the drive was so excruciating. And like, as soon as I got in the car, and I literally was just shouting in pain because my ears hurt so bad, because I had been out in 7-degree weather with nothing protecting my ears, not even my hair, it was in a braid, for like 10 minutes at this point. And I emailed my supervisor, and he said it's fine, hope you get there. And I did get there in decent time. I got to work at about 6:24, so about 24 minutes late. That's not bad. About 24.
Could be an hour, 2 hours, you know. It's not that bad.
On the way to work, I also had to get gas, but nothing terrible happened. I mean, I leaked a little gas from the nozzle. You know when you're peeing and like you think it's all gone, but then you put it back in your pants and then it's not all gone? That's what the gas did to my gas tank. A little bit spilled out, but it wasn't detrimental or anything. And then starting my car again, it started fine, but then I made it to Piggly Wiggly, pronounced just like that. And the entire car ride, it's like a 10-minute car ride, and I stopped for gas. The heat would not work. It was just cold air. Like, the heat eventually started to work. It was just like chilly air instead of frigid cold air. It was awful. And the entire day, my muscles have just been killing me because I had a show choir dance camp for 7 hours yesterday.
That's so long.
To anyone that interacts with... Whoa.
What?
Why is the can so long?
Just how long the can is.
No,
that's like a...
It's smaller than the screw top, but it's larger than...
That's like an 8-inch long
It's
monster
larger
can.
than the
It's gotta be the
16
same
ounce.
ounce.
How many ounces?
Okay.
How many ounces is that monster can?
18.6.
Oh, so
0.6.
you see, that's the
Okay,
can
but-
that people should be terrified of when it's
Yeah,
compared
because it
to
sucks to
another.
drink out of.
It's your problem.
That sounds like a skill issue.
But, so when I got PSA to anyone who interacts with a Pepsi or Whizpack employee, we do not work at the store!
Oh my god. That's
Stop asking me if I work at the Piggly Wiggly or the Century or the Pick and Save or the goddamn Metro Market. I do not. Don't ask me where the toilet paper is. Do not ask me where the Crest toothpaste is. Do not ask me where the pumpkin pie filling is. I do not work for the goddamn store. Oh my god. The people just kept asking me all day. And like, so I wasn't able to work the last couple days. I would usually work because I had show choir and stuff. And the person that filled in for me did just the worst job. Like, he doubled the amount of time I had to spend there. Like, usually on a Sunday, I'd be done by noon. It took me until 5 p.m. because I had to reorganize everything because he did it so incredibly wrong. Like, an entire display, the product was switched around in a way that didn't even make sense. And, like, the bubbler was, like, reorganized in some, like, dysfunctional way that was just awful. Oh, my God. And all the soda, like, the back row is supposed to be 2 wide and 3 deep, alright, in a 6-pack. It's supposed to be 2 bottles and 3 deep for the back row, so it fills the front. And they reorganized the entirety of the 6-pack section to not be like that. So I had to reorganize every single bottle in the back row, and it took, like, 30 minutes on just that. And the back of the store was completely disorganized, too. There was, like, 5 separate pallets of stuff. Usually that store has no pallets. You just put stuff on a cart.
5 separate pallets, guys.
But that store is awful to work with pallets because they just have awful pallet jacks, and it's just so inconvenient. And people kept getting in my way. Okay, but then things were pretty uneventful for a while. Yes, Ashton.
No, it was
Audio
What?
listeners of the podcast, Ashton has had his hand raised for like the last minute and a half.
Yes, Ashton.
So that tangent sparked something. I think you would have a stroke if you saw the Pepsi section at Walmart.
Oh my god, yes, I hate the Pepsi section at Walmart. I
It's
hate
Oh, we're just
working at
gonna
Walmart.
change-
Especially when it's the guy there and not the girl you talk to
Not
with the glasses.
Oh, Ryan is okay. I mean, bleep that out, editor, aka me. Let's call him Bobbert.
Bobbert.
Yes.
All of them. All the
Bobbert.
names.
Bobbert.
Shoe.
Bobbert is
Sweater.
my man is
Sweater.
not that bad.
Do we have to rename this episode to talking about Pepsi the whole time?
No.
No.
This will compensate for the two people's stories that won't be told.
This is also, you are taking up all of the introduction of this.
No. We'll still have time. We'll still have time.
Our days.
But after working at Pig, oh yeah, and halfway through that, my AirPods died at Piggly Wiggly, so I had to listen to the bad Christmas music for
They're playing
2 hours of that.
They are not playing Christmas
Well, like
music already.
it wasn't. It was like the vibe of Christmas music without being Christmas music. Like there
It's
was like
diet
there was like
Christmas.
the jazz
Oh yeah, they
that's
switched.
in Christmas, but
They switched to oldies music, and
Ugh.
it makes me want to rip my ears off.
I've yet to hear All I Want for Christmas Is You.
You also don't listen to the radio. Luckily.
I forgot.
But-
On Saturday, I forgot my earbuds, so I had
That's
to listen to it.
devastating.
You poor soul. You
But-
poor soul.
But right after Piggly Wiggly, I went to Dunkin', grabbed a hot cocoa with caramel and whipped cream, which is the best way to get it. It was so amazing. Went to Carly's house, grabbed a hug and a brownie. Nothing really happened at Century except I walked in the bathroom and there was just an old man standing right in front of the sink, just standing there.
Did he
NPC
grunt?
energy.
No, he didn't. I don't think he noticed me.
Hey, yo!
As soon as I opened the door, I saw him and then ran away and ran into the back rooms and then ran out into the store and then I saw him in the store, so I went back in the back rooms and then back to the bathroom.
The bathroom at Century is so inconvenient.
It's so
Oh my god, yeah.
gross.
I don't remember one of the pick and says.
Good.
But at my last store, it was a store where they keep the Pepsi product in a garage at like a 30-degree angle, so you can only stack a pallet like four 12-packs high. So I had to build an entire 4-layer pallet just to get product out to the floor, and like I had a list of what product I needed on my phone, and then my phone died. Well, it was at like 1% for like 30 minutes, but yeah. And my AirPods were about to die, and so I couldn't listen to Distractable, which helps me get through work. Honestly, Distractable podcast, that really helps me get through work. No, it makes me work so much more consistently. Otherwise, I
It really
just
does.
sit there for like
Okay.
5
Okay.
minutes. Yeah, so that was awful. And at the end of it, I was just so done with people that, like, I was taking a pallet through an aisle, which I had to build, by the way. I had to build it from scratch. Took
Build a
another, like,
pallet
30 minutes
workshop.
per pallet. But I was taking a pallet through an aisle, and there was a cart going down and some people going down, and it was, like, right on the corner of another aisle. And the people were standing on the aisle, like, closer to me, right on that corner, and the cart was coming down, and it said, "Excuse me, please," and the people just slightly squished up against the wall of the aisle. They were right by the corner. They could have just stepped into the other aisle. So I out loud, very loudly said, "Cool," and then just kept going, kept charging through, just barely not hitting the group of people.
Well, clearly they don't want to go into the big scary aisle. That's where the carts are.
And then last major things. It's like a thing and a half. I was finally done with my last pallet at my last store, and I took it into the back rooms. And there was a guy trying to get through. I thought he was just trying to get through to move on. He had a pallet of empty milk crates, and so I let him through. Like I pulled back away from where I needed to go to let him through, and instead he stopped his pallet of milk crates in the doorway in the main intersection of the hallway, so I couldn't get to where I needed to go, and then he just dropped it, walked away. Like, he looked at me, said, "Sorry," and walked away. And then he came back, like, 3 minutes later, wrapped it in
back.
plastic, took his goddamn time. This took, like, 5 minutes straight of him wrapping it in plastic.
This sounds
And then
familiar.
he slowly picked it up, looked at me and said, "Sorry." And then slowly took it down the hallway as I just, I was tailgating with a pallet of Pepsi. Because, oh my god, I was so annoyed. But then,
get the monkey,
finally got done with that pallet, and a guy stopped me and asked if I could get one of the pallets in the back rooms to where the rest of the Pepsi was. And I just said, no, that it would need to go into the 30-degree angle garage. I do not have the strength to do that. And I just left. And so yeah, that was probably the worst day of work I've ever had in a season that is not July.
That's wild.
Anyone else have
Oh my God.
days?
Well,
I didn't wake up until 3 o'clock. I took care of the cardboard, and then I waited, and then I drove here.
I wanted to kill every customer at Walmart after my break.
So
You
bad.
really could make an entire episode about complaining about work.
We should definitely do that.
yeah. I have so many Piggly Wiggly horror stories. You have no idea.
That is one of the main
Work
like,
horror
but
stories should be great.
that does remind me real quick because Ashton said the customers.
Oh.
The customers, as soon as I stocked something, they wouldn't take it from a pallet where it was convenient. The only store where they took it from the pallet is the one where I had to build the pallet with the perfect amount of product for the store. As soon as I stocked the shelf, they would take exactly the one I stocked. And it literally made my eye twitch. I was so annoyed and so ready to just punch this person. One of these days, my next 13-hour day, if someone takes a product that I've just stocked, I will 100% punch them in the face.
You'll just pack them a punch.
Oh, shut.
Oh my god, please.
Oh, Mr. Yeah, I'll keep your names hidden, but Mr. Australian Boss and Mr. Boss I haven't met, I will not actually punch someone in the face for the sake of the company. Please do not hear this and heed this or take this seriously.
This is all
Thank
for
you.
the sake of comedy and expressing slight frustrations.
I had so many passive-aggressive comments today for being slightly in the way of people. Half an hour before my shift
You
ended,
don't have the
I
talking
was-
stick.
I
Just get
refused
it
to go
out.
back out into the sales floor.
To be fair, I feel both ends of that. Whenever I'm at a Walmart and the Walmart online shoppers are in my way, I just hate those people so
Okay,
much.
but
I'm sure they hate you.
I try my damnedest to not get in the way though.
It's just really hard.
Because I feel
this.
bad when I get in people's way, and then I feel worse when they're like sorry, I don't know.
Yeah.
You
Your
just
brain
feel
is
bad.
having a hard time
Well, it's not your
processing
fault
things.
that the thing that you.
I'm that angry.
It's not your
Yeah.
fault that the thing they push and pull around is massive.
It's not my
Yeah.
fault that with that department and the remodel they didn't make the aisles wider so
They
you
should
can
have.
fit more people and carts in it.
Yeah,
They
they
should've.
really did just add an entire massive cart thing for people to just stock. Well, not stock, but grab food for, and then just not accommodate that in the size of the aisles.
The ones at Viking are so good. They're fucking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Viking
So
has
good. We went there
massive.
today.
And Viking doesn't have the online shoppers.
They have a cow.
Yeah.
They
that
do
you
have a
can
cow
milk.
that
They do have a cow they can milk.
We need
But it's
a
not
we
even
need
milk.
a,
It's water.
and
We
it
need
was-
a
and it
team.
was leaking.
It was so gross.
always
so
leaks.
bad.
we need a team trip to milk the lactating cow.
Can we start?
No,
wait,
we're
wait,
not
Carl,
done
we're
yet.
still
Hey.
We still gotta ask them.
She hasn't gone. I
Bad
haven't
day
gone.
went. That is
Your
so
flashlight's on.
Ashton and Phil are done talking
I'm done.
because Ashley took a respectable
I
2
woke up
minutes.
at 3.
Phil
And
took
then
10
Ashton
minutes.
and
I took
Phil. Oh my
5
god.
seconds.
Phil took longer than I did.
Oh
I
yeah,
know,
I
I
had
know.
a
But-
whole day.
Yeah, I just wanted to kill the customers. That's it.
I also.
It's been recording for 23 minutes.
Yeah, he
Had a
took
day.
up all of the 23 minutes.
I also had
He
a
took
day
20 minutes.
because I have been going nonstop for over a week. Right? It was Tech Week, which was basically a whole week, 2 days of performance, and the next day I was driving to Verona for honors band, and then the day after that was a performance, and then every day until No, every day until now I've been busy with either show choir or work. And then yesterday was the, 7-hour dance camp. And when I tell you I've never felt such intense physical pain in my body, because our, choreographer for executive session is insane. He's a great choreographer. His choreography is amazing. He has no concept of what high schoolers are capable of in a 7-hour period. We choreographed the most intense dance of the show. And it's like a 7-minute song. And we were non-stop dancing for 7 hours. And then today I had another dance camp because I'm in both groups.
Yeah, I had about 3/4 of that schedule. I had the honor and stuff, but I couldn't imagine having that and then having YTBN and having to work on the Friday.
I've never been in such intense physical pain. And I'm not name dropping here, so we're just gonna call her the pink-haired one. and you know who I'm talking about. That girl. Mm-hmm. Was complaining about people not trying hard enough during YTBN today, and I'm like, I am so sorry. I'm not willing to hurt myself to learn a goddamn dance.
Of course she would. Of course she would be the one to do that.
And it's just the passive aggressiveness from her. I cannot.
I'll just be aggressive towards her. There's a passive. I'll just be aggressive towards her from now on.
Can I get aggressive, no passive?
Barack Obama.
He's speaking bars right now.
I'll be kind.
I didn't work today. I slept until whenever I asked you to go to Starbucks.
So yeah, we both just were in bed all day, huh?
I worked 4 days, 4 days consecutively.
I also did. I worked 5 days.
I didn't work today, which is so good.
2
days ago, though, I closed the store with someone else, so I worked a 4 to 9.
And then next week
it was around 10 minutes. 10 to 20 minutes before we close. Shut up. It's my turn.
Sorry.
Mom said it's my turn.
Please, our gracious and amazing host, please continue. Our host.
Kiss ass.
He just wants to win.
So true.
Anyways, it was 10 to 20 minutes before we closed. I get a phone call. They're like, I work at a pizzeria, bowling alley thing. We make our own ranch. That's very important to the story. We slave over buckets, buckets full of ranch that just sit in our fridge.
Ranch.
I get a phone call. She's like, can I buy a gallon of ranch? I literally one time, I've never had anyone ask me that ever, working my 8 weeks I've worked there. And I'm like, hold on. So I had to get oh wait, I'm not name dropping.
That's Marks.
Yeah.
Marks. Yep.
Karl
No.
Marks?
Expo marker. We got Expo marker. He came. I was like, you can handle this. He's like, I talked to him the other week. And then he hangs up and he disappears for 10 minutes. And he comes back holding a gallon jug, that was filled with water, empty. And he's like, I gotta do what I have to do. And so he went to the dish pit, and I wasn't. Him and Highlighter went to the back. Well, I stayed up in the area. I'm like, I wonder what they're doing. I walk back there. They have the jug, and they have a what the fuck are they called? Funnel. And then just Mark's hand was balls deep in the ranch thing, scooping it out. And then he's like, this sucks. And then he had to touch the bottom of it, so his whole hand was just covered in ranch as he was pouring it in. And he started fake gagging. I'm like, oh my god.
I just imagine one of those movie scenes where someone really dehydrated is just drinking milk by the gallon, but it's pizzeria ranch.
And then he goes, this is the whitest fucking shit ever. I'm like, yeah, I guess people love our ranch so much they want gallons of it.
You would think it's Thanksgiving.
And then he disappeared, and then we closed.
Ironically, the pizza place with the ranch is not Pizza Ranch.
No, it's not. It's not even Pizza Ranch.
Today,
up someone yesterday at work.
today we have learned that many of us are violent.
We learned today, don't work for Pepsi.
So true.
Or Walmart.
Well, it's
Oh, Walmart.
not usually that bad.
That's true.
Speaking of today's lessons, what is today's topic?
Today's topic is kids are stupid.
Good redirect. Good
Yeah,
redirect.
yeah.
Specifically, ones that are like this tall.
Like little bitty kids.
Little baby
We love children.
bitches
No,
I
we
want to
don't.
buy.
I
Except we
hate
don't.
kids.
That's
If
the whole
you,
purpose of
if
I
you
hate
are
kids.
lower than my peripheral vision, I'm gonna kick you over. I'm sorry. It's
Yeah,
not my
like-
problem. I can't fucking see you. Just
I've never actually kicked a kid, and I probably will never actually kick a kid.
But the thought of it just sounds so nice.
But I think about
just
it.
punching that
I wanna
bitch
punt it and
across
then
the fucking
I want to punt like
floor.
a 3-year-old, and it sound like those rubber balls that you have in gym.
Yes. It's so
Mr.
funny.
Mr.
Banana.
Banana he's having a kid, right? And in the musical we're doing this year, there's a
Big
baby
fish, big
a
fish.
baby that's needed.
Is he gonna use his
Because
baby?
yeah, he's gonna have his baby be in the play, and I'm like, God
No.
damn it! If I have to hold that child,
I'm gonna throw it. Just chuck it into the audience. There you go.
Audience interaction.
Meadow made fun of me. She's like, yeah,
It's a
Carly's like, if
splash
there's anything other than a plastic baby,
The splash.
Oh my god, that'd be so cute.
it would
They
be
should
so
get-
funny if it was a plastic baby.
They
then
should
I
get
could
one of
just
those
kick it.
fake babies that look really fucking
Oh
real.
god!
Oh my-
Oh my
Oh yeah,
god!
from like
That
the,
I'd actually throw.
the
We should
home-
use the
the
babies
home
for
echo.
the
It's not
for the
hurting
parenting
anyone.
class. Like they
Oh,
should use those
no.
babies and just starts crying on the middle of the
You
stage.
just put the
That'd be
key in its
awful.
back on
Oh.
stage.
Oh,
so bad. Anyways, what's your guys'
Titles?
titles?
I have mine. We should have died.
Oh, okay. Phil?
My one criminal testimony.
Ashley?
all around America, but like before America has like a little parentheses and it says Mall of. So it's around Mall of America.
Ashtray?
Purple.
Iconic name.
Bro, the first episode, haha, won. This episode, I want to hear purple.
Purple guy.
Purple.
I want to,
You want to hear purple?
I do want to hear purple.
Okay, so
Oh.
funnily enough, this happened last night.
Uh-oh.
Last night, okay, okay.
My stepmom, aka Dad's girlfriend,
Yep.
got these circle bottles.
Circle
You know, like
bottle.
with the flavor cartridges you can screw in.
Oh,
Remember those?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Pop
you mean like
loves
Mio
those.
or whatever the.
Yeah, except but you screw it into the bottle.
But you screw it in.
Yeah.
It's like a Gatorade thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, those things are really neat, by the way. But she got one for herself, me, and my little brother, which I'm going to name Average.
Why did you see, my
Yeah,
question is,
yeah,
when you
yeah.
listed that, you only put up 2 fingers.
Average. Average.
That's 2.5.
Average.
No, that's 2 and like 3/4.
We love our audio listeners, but Ashton's doing that terrifying thumb thing.
Yeah. Check
so-
out YouTube to
so
see the
yesterday-
terrifying thumb thing.
Yesterday we were eating dinner.
Dinner. We love
It was venison.
you. Oh,
Venison
oh.
is a great meat, by the way. I'm about done, and I
Me
don't
too.
I don't remember what we were talking about, but my brother comes up with his bottle, and and I'm like, hey, it's red because it had like red plastic.
Yeah.
He says purple.
Roll credits.
Bruh. That's it.
That's like this
Episode
one,
over.
this one TikTok bird, this TikTok African gray parrot or whatever that learns colors and materials.
Yeah. It's like, what material
the
is this
one that
made
says
of?
like glass, glass. Like he sometimes like is asked what color is this, and he just goes Shrek or something. It's so funny. The way he says purple is almost exactly like how you like purple.
My favorite video is Luigi's like Daisy's favorite color is purple. You seen that? That video is so funny and so cute. He's like, guess what my favorite color is?
I like purple too, but can you guess what mine is? One of my favorite colors.
It's so cute. And he goes, yippee! Yippee! It's so cute. Was that?
Was that
it?
purple?
Was that purple? Did you like punch him, kick him? Like you're fucking stupid. Like,
We love
did you ask me if he's colorblind or something?
No. Then we argued for like a minute straight of just like, no, it's red.
It's purple. Just go to his mom. Take him back.
Put it he ain't done. He ain't done. Put him back in.
He ain't done cooking.
For our listeners, our gracious friend Ashton did just mime throwing a child back into his mother.
Or an oven.
Or an
The
oven.
oven. He threw that bitch right back in the oven and said, this needs to marinate for a little longer.
Oh.
That's great.
So moral of the story: Average still needs to learn his colors.
Average.
How old is
Average.
average?
Average
Is
kid.
average. About average.
2.
Oh.
Enough.
About average.
Enough.
Too enough.
Is that like less than 2 or greater than 2?
Average.
Enough.
Average.
Oh,
It's
average.
average, bro.
Fair.
Clearly. That's good. That's a really good one.
Okay, I want to hear Carly's.
Oh, we should have died?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, so it's not so much one story as is a couple of like mini stories that all took place in the same time period.
Yippee compilation.
So parents divorced. I know. I know.
I should have known.
Parents
you were-
ain't always right.
Music department.
Double
kids be
points
like,
for parents being divorced.
So my mom lived in town and my dad lived on his family's farm. But at this farm, we were just kind of allowed to do anything we wanted. Like there was literally no supervision, and this was from when I was like 5 until I was about 12. Not exactly the most responsible age to be left alone.
No.
And I was in charge of my siblings, who, my brother... Do I have to do fake names for my siblings?
It's more of a if you feel like it.
No, it's fine.
Personal choice.
Okay. My brother Dipshit.
Okay.
Perfect! Yeah!
And my sister
Shipdit.
Shipdit.
Shipped it. And
Shipped it.
Shipped
Okay.
it.
Dipshit's a year younger than me, and Shit Dip is 2
These are their canon names.
Yes.
now.
But she's
Lord.
she's 2 years younger than me.
Uh-huh.
So, and I was in charge of watching them, and me being like 7 or 8 when all these stories happened, I did not watch them at all. So
Makes sense.
my sister was fine. She kind of mostly stayed inside. Sorry.
I just braided that.
She mostly stayed inside, and it was like fine. I mean, inside there was like black mold in the windows because the farmhouse was old, but she was probably safer than me and people who were outside on the farm.
Who?
Dipshit.
The lore expands.
I don't know how much effort I'm willing to put
Michael
into
Afton?
bleeping the real names that we accidentally use.
You have to.
Right.
We gotta put effort into this. This is not
Anyways.
easy.
We put effort into the Gamers podcast.
You put so much effort putting those big boom sound effects on the whole
That
last
is true.
episode. so-
Resume.
I think I'll just do that to the max for all the real names. Just when the farm.
You need to, your like Pepsi thing
But-
where you're like, you need to put that just
If
so
you ever
fucking loud.
Talk to a Pepsi
Find,
Yeah,
find
just
the
put
find the
so-
vine boom.
Yeah.
Every time we like dead names, I'm just boom, boom, boom.
Or have
It's
you
so
heard that
funny.
one audio on TikTok that's like, I'm a he. I'm
Yeah,
a man.
yeah. That's what we need.
Anyways,
Anyhow.
me and
Anywho.
Dipshit, we were outside on the farm a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Not the brightest fucking kids. So, one of the things we did the most often was we had a trampoline outside, and there was no, like, safety net around it. There wasn't even the cover that protected us from the springs. We were just kind of there, and my brother, he would do flips and stuff, and I'm like, okay,
Makes sense.
great. I wouldn't do it, but then we had this whole game where we jumped off the trampoline into the bushes that were nearby, and that was the game. And have you ever heard of these things called stinging nettles?
Yep.
So one year, it was like a bunch of those grew in there, and we hadn't done it yet, so we just jumped like face first into a area that's just full of stinging nettles.
Barbed wire bush.
I wanted to rip off my skin. It was so bad. But we played that after that.
What?
Just the next year, we were jumping back in the bush again.
The same bush?
The same bush.
I've never had an interaction with poison ivy or stinging nettles or anything. What is that?
So
feel
stinging
like?
nettles is like, there's a bunch of like tiny little needle-like things on their leaves.
They're
So
like
if you touch
burrs,
them,
yeah.
they like go in your skin and they're too small to dig out. So you just have to wait for them to come out.
It's like getting a burr stuck in your leg.
But you
Yeah.
can't pull it
10
out.
times worse. Yeah.
And they're everywhere.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really bad.
And then another thing we did a lot was, for like 2 months, we tried to figure out how to climb on top of the circle bales, because there were just rows and rows of circular hay bales, and we spent so long trying to figure out how to get up there. Like, there was this huge, like, probably illegal dumpster pit that they would just throw all their garbage in, and then they like buried it one year. Definitely illegal. But we would like dig stuff out of the garbage to try and prop it up to like a makeshift ladder so we could climb on top of the damn hay bales. And then when we were up there, we would throw each other off.
Nope.
Just full on try to shove each other off. And then the other person would just climb right back on. And one time, my brother threw me off so hard that I like couldn't breathe. Like, have you ever had the wind knocked out you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was literally gasping for air for like a solid minute. And my brother was like freaking out, like, "Oh my god, I just killed her! I just killed her! I just killed her! Oh my god! Oh my god, I killed her!" And then I started breathing again. He was like,
Damn it.
super mad at me.
He was like,
and I'm
fuck.
like,
For
"You
breathing?
threw me!"
Was he mad at you for living?
He's mad
or
at you for coming back to life. He's like, God fucking damn it.
One or the other, I don't know.
What are you
And
guys
then-
talking about? Stop, please.
There was also the hayloft.
Sorry.
But in the hayloft, there was like this opening, like that you could just jump down through. It wasn't supposed to be used for that.
But
we did
hay? Don't they shove
Yeah,
hay down
they-
there?
No, they used that to like, I don't even know what they did. I didn't give a crap about the farm, but it was not supposed. It was to. Oh no, you're right. It was to push the hay down
It's
to the
either
lower.
put it up
Yeah.
or, that's one of the two.
And sometimes it didn't have a lot of hay under it, but we would still just jump out, jump down.
How did you not break anything?
I don't know. That's why this is called We Should Have Died. We should have died so many times. And I did like roll my ankle once, and I told my dad, and he was just like, "Walk it off. You're fine. You're fine." And then I went to my mom's house the next day, and I was still like crying because my ankle hurt so bad.
Yeah. What?
And she was like, there was nothing she could do because it wasn't like broken. It just like rolled. So she's like, "I got some ice. I got some ibuprofen." But my dad like wouldn't give me ibuprofen. I was just like, "Please."
Peas.
Oh,
Peas.
another
Rob just
thing.
said peas.
There was this like weed area that you not not like that.
To be
Not
fair,
like that.
we were just talking about. We were just talking about.
Ew.
Not like weed, like a weeded area, like like.
Weeds. We're the weeds.
Yeah.
We're cool.
A couple of them were sharp,
the
but
weeds.
after a couple times of getting poked by the sharp ones, I figured out the path. And then I would go into like the woods where there was like this barbed wire fence that I fell on a couple times. But on the way back one of these times, I stepped on a ground wasp nest.
Oh my god.
And I got really lucky because not that many came out. But one, I was wearing a ring that day, and one stung me above the ring. So I had to rip the ring off
Oh my
over it
God.
before the swelling got too bad.
Oh my god.
And I did this before I even got back to the house. And my dad was like, "You're literally fine. Why are you crying?" And I'm just like,
Bruh. Okay,
What?
shut up.
there was one more story I wanted to tell. There's so many, but one more I wanted to tell. My brother was like 6 at the time, and dipshit has always enjoyed farm equipment,
That's weird.
tractors,
Actually, that's not.
and they would let him drive tractors at the
tractors?
ripe age of 6. And one time he took out the Kubota. It's like a 4-wheeler with a cab, and he was driving it, and he backed into somebody's car, and then just took off. Like, he didn't want to own up to that.
The fucking hidden
did
run
that.
with the tractor? What the fuck?
No, it was with the Kubota.
Oh my god.
Which is only marginally less awful. And then my grandpa did commit, like, insurance fraud and say he was the one driving it.
AKA, jack off. Kevin calls him jack off.
So yeah, we should have died so many times.
Real.
The farm is not a place to leave a 8, 7, and 6-year-old unattended. God, that probably took as long as it took for Phil to tell about his day.
All right. So this story is called Around the Mall of America. I forgot what I actually called it. But it's not like that. All around America, and then parentheses before that actually is a mall of. So this is around. Yeah.
Yep.
Mall of America. So
Yeah,
this is actually me. This is my story of when I was a dumb child. I was like 12, so I wasn't really little, but I was 12, and that's just old enough to be stupid, but just also just old enough to have partial good idea thinking, but it's still ultimately really fucking stupid. So what happened is that we went to the Mall of America. We've been shopping all day. We've been having fun. And then we were making our way back.
Okay, Zoe.
So we were finally, like, after we were done shopping for about half the day, we decided to go to the Nickelodeon universe in the center. You know, where all the attractions and such are.
Which some people didn't want to go there.
It was day 3.
Me and Ashton were there for 9 hours.
How do you spend 9 hours in that
Because
area?
they left us there.
We had to visit her uncle.
So
Fair
we
enough.
just- Ashton,
So-
wake the fuck up.
Would you have wanted to come to the uncle's house instead? He did have guinea pigs. He does have guinea pigs.
So yeah, so we went to the Nickelodeon universe area, and we were going on stuff, and then I really wanted to go on the Dutchman's rope course,
Oh gosh.
and you know my parents didn't.
That was close when we went.
My parents did not want to go, and so they were like, okay, well you can go on there, but we get Auntie Anne's. We'll be right back when you're done with the rope course. Stay right there. You see, I was completely oblivious to that last part. I did not properly hear it. So, you know, I did the ropes course, and I did it a little too fast, so I didn't really get as much enjoyment out of it as I thought I would. So I was like, dang, this is boring. I'm going to find my parents at Auntie Anne's instead of staying there like they told me to.
Which Auntie Anne's, bro?
Being related, so it folded like a present.
There
Well, no, it wasn't Auntie Anne's. It was Cinnabon.
Ah, yeah, Cinnabon.
The Cinnabon. So,
We went there.
So-
Third level cinema.
yeah, the third level
Was it a
Cinnabon.
Cinnabon that we
Maybe
went
that was
to?
one
Did you get
Phil never
cookies?
got.
We went to the grandma one.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, they went to Cinnabon, and that's where I was supposed to... and I was like, well, you know, they told me to here, but I know where they're going. They're going to go to Cinnabon, so I'll just go to Cinnabon and then meet them there, and they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, you made it all the way to Cinnabon. You're so smart and awesome.
They're gonna tell you that you're awesome.
Listen, I was a young child. The thought of a 12-year-old is one of many. So I decide, you know, I know where the Cinnabon is. I've been here multiple times, and by multiple I mean like 5 or 6. We went there quite often, weirdly enough. So we went there. I was going there very slowly. I get there, and they're not there. I'm like, oh no, what do I do? Well, actually, it was before this. I was walking around the Nickelodeon universe area because I figured they'd be back, and they weren't. I remember I tried getting this one random stranger to call my mom. That didn't work. So then I went to
Wait,
this.
did it say no? Did they say no, or did you just not know your mom's number?
No, I knew my mom's number. She just didn't pick up because it was a random number.
Oh, yeah, really. Fair.
So after that, I went to the Cinnabon. They weren't there. I'm like, well, I guess I'll go to the mall office. I guess. Because I don't know where my parents are, and they did not give me a phone.
No.
Because on and off throughout my childhood, I've had a phone, or not, and it's been kind of an inconsistent thing. And I was like, I don't want a phone. It's like no, even a flip phone I would have enjoyed, but unfortunately I didn't have a phone and no way of communicating to them. So I was like, well, I guess I'm going to the front lobby area and talking to the people, and then waiting for my parents. So I go there, and they come, and they're like, "Why did you?"
Enough.
Sorry.
Well, not the Mall of America.
No, you're canceled.
So eventually they come by and pick me up, and they're like, "What? Why didn't you stay? Why didn't you stay at the fucking Dutchman course like we told you to?" And it's like, first of all, I forgot because in retrospect, I have like autism, so of course I'm not gonna remember that. And then second of all, I tried to turn this into a point where it's like, well, this is why you guys should give me a phone so I can communicate. And they're like, no,
That's so
you should just stay where you are and do what you're told.
Damn!
If you're lost, just stand there.
Well, that's what they told me to stay there, to be fair. But that was the initial instruction, but I was just stupid and I was 12, so I should have known better, but I didn't because I was 12.
No.
So, after all that, we just did a couple other things, and then we left short after.
You got this, Shadi.
And it was just it was a very funny situation that I was like, yeah, I don't know where my parents are. I really easily could have been kidnapped. I could have, literally anything bad could have happened. But luckily it didn't. So, yeah, that's kind of my story of me being a dummy-dumb at the Mall of America.
No, that's pretty solid. I mean, if I wandered off in the Mall of America the first time we went, I would have been probably terrified. But
yeah, I don't know how I wasn't more terrified at age 12.
After a couple
I would've
times,
been
it's
more
kind of
scared.
fun.
Well, yeah.
Gets
No,
lost and
no,
just
it's
calls
not.
for Maddie and Ashton over the speaker like, Mom.
That's you guys when you guys walked through the Macy's, and we were sitting on one of the couches behind you guys, and you guys just kept fucking walking.
So I think-
I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at couches, Maddie.
If
Look
I'm
at the
remembering-
couches; they were comfy.
If I'm remembering correctly how they contacted my parents, like, the mall themselves called my parents.
It's like that going over the
on
intercom
phone.
at Walmart.
No, they didn't do the intercom, strangely enough.
That would have been so funny.
That would have been so much worse and more embarrassing.
That's
but
so funny though.
It would have been funny. It would have been funnier for the story, but unfortunately it wasn't.
No.
But yeah, that
You
is
killed him.
that would be my
Excellent,
story.
Excellent.
You
killed
know,
him.
the
Excellent.
Mall of America seems like such a big thing, but they're actually kind of chill. They've like 2 of my Instagram posts about the Mall of America.
They really have.
Like they're just super.
Mall of America's awesome.
Yeah.
If you haven't gone there, you should.
I would not go back to the Mall of America.
You want to
You're
go
traumatized
back
from
for
that.
it, so-
fucking
No,
over
when
the
we're
Mall of
21, we're going back, and
Oh,
we're
yeah, we want to
driving
go
the
to
goddamn
Margaritaville.
go-karts.
Yeah, because you two couldn't drive the go-karts. It was so funny.
Well, at least you guys are waiting, because like you guys did go 2 years in a row, didn't you?
Less than
It
a
wasn't
year,
even
actually.
Less than a
It
year.
was
Yeah.
December, and then the
Oh, yeah, it
following
was.
July.
Yeah. Why do you guys
7
go
months.
so quickly into
Like,
session?
yeah. but, like-
Because the first time it was kind of
fun.
well,
what-
it was
you went on
fun,
that story?
but there was something that like that was
Yeah.
mid,
Trauma,
and then
trauma.
the second time it was with this one, and I like this one. I like Carly.
Oh yeah, I
I
remember
wouldn't
the first
go
story.
again.
Yeah. Anyhow, yeah, that was my story.
I wouldn't go to a mall again. Me and Ashton's.
Any mall.
No, I want to go to the Mall of America again. Like,
And have a good experience.
I wish we
I have a
lived
Mall
right
of-
next to the Mall of
I
America.
wish we did not. I would get so sick of it.
Go to the
I
Mall
like
of America, but that's not the main event.
I like the mall that we went to, like that really like
The-
sketchy
Oh,
mall with the
yeah.
Burnsville Mall.
There was like nobody in there, and
We
it was
went-
so empty.
We went to the Burnsville Mall,
It was
like
so-
the hour it opened, and it
It was-
felt like the Five Nights at Freddy's Mega Pizza Place.
It was
Like the only
so-
store open was the Hot Topic
It
we were
felt
trying
like
to
we
go
were
to.
That does
going
remind
into the
me.
back rooms.
It was
Like,
so
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
I recently went down to Janesville to help the Maurices. We went.
Yeah,
I was helping the
Janesville, bro.
Maurices get out of the mall because I have family that works at Maurices, and so I was helping assist move them from out of the mall into their new location. And oh my goodness gracious, Janesville is an awful place.
yeah.
Like, it is the most. All the roads are wonky donkey. All of the buildings are either closed or heavily outdated. And then, oh my goodness, there was like a Toys R Us that was like down there, but like their signing was all gone, and they
course
just
it
haven't
was.
bothered to. That's the thing about Janesville is that
Or
they will close down places and just not get rid of the signing. And I was so used to that when I saw a Chuck E. Cheese that still had its like
Hell
1993 look, like kind of signage. And I just assumed it was abandoned, and I looked it up and it was still running. I was like,
let's go.
why are you still operating on a
No,
nearly
it's
30-year-old
amazing.
sign?
No, it's amazing.
No, it
I
is
would've
amazing.
went.
It was great that it was still there,
I would've
but
went.
oh my goodness, I was just like,
When we went into
Do they still
have the
I looked it up. I think they do.
Oh my god, we have to go! We have to go!
Well, you don't want to go to
Janesville.
Janesville.
The one we did.
It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
So the one in Madison still has.
Do they? I don't think they do.
When I went
Ashton,
there,
wake the fuck up. You had so much energy.
how are you
drinks
sleeping
today.
when you have a monster next to you, Bestie?
He drank so much energy drinks today, and he's just fucking snoozing
So-
in the podcast.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the last I checked, Madison had it, but that was also 3 years ago.
Yeah, they probably replaced.
They
it
might have
with
replaced it
dance
with the dance floor,
We
which is
can
inferior.
check,
Fuck,
but-
fuck them.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck every Chuck E. Cheese that replaced the animatronics with the dance floor.
I'm not going into a Chuck E. Cheese just to get death stares again.
No,
Well,
it's so funny though.
What happened?
If we're in our home state, it wouldn't be okay. So in Minnesota, well, I'll
Okay.
let someone else tell it because I've spoken.
In
Oh.
Minnesota, after we went to the Hot Topic in the sketchy Burnsville Mall, we were like, we want to go to Chuck E. Cheese's.
Oh my
So
God.
we
No.
went there.
Phil and Maddie were hell bent on going to Chuck E. Cheese.
We were in our
Hell-bent.
Freddy fucking Five Nights at Freddy's Mega Pizza Punch shirt that we just bought at Hot Topic.
We did buy matching Five Nights at Freddy's Mega Pizza Plex shirts
I-
to go into the Chuck E. Cheese.
I fucking changed out of my I Love Dill shirts just to put that goddamn shirt on, just to go into that goddamn Chuck E. Cheese's to get death stared by fucking adults, because we were grown ass people.
I have
waltzing in.
never felt such instant animosity.
It's
it
just,
was
you
What?
watch.
What is that big word that you just used? I do not.
Animosity,
For the dumb people, what is that?
hatred, rage,
Okay, there you
anger.
go.
Ah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, we weren't even being loud or anything. We would just walked in
So
quietly.
respectful and so excited.
It's like the lobby and then there's seating.
No, it was-
You
right
walk
in.
No, it was
Boom.
specifically the couple that was right next to the door.
Yeah, they
You
were
walk
just
in, right? And it's just instantly like
done.
head
Done.
snaps you, boom,
Like-
death stare.
We just wanted to eat some cricket pizza and like have a good time at Chuck E. Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Charles Entertainment.
No, so we went to
Cheese.
TGI Fridays.
Yeah.
TGI Fridays
Which-
was
And
good.
then I proceeded
So
to get
good.
my change stolen from me.
I
I forgot about that.
We need to save some of these.
Okay, wait.
Oh my God,
for-
oh my
I was
God.
thinking about that though.
But
I gotta-
Did he give you $1 extra? Cause
No.
I went to a restaurant
No,
and they
he
just
just
said
took
they
my
didn't.
change.
Really?
Yes.
He was such a rude ass server, and he just took
And then-
Ashton's change as a tip.
And then no, that's for another time.
Yeah,
Another
yeah,
time,
we'll talk
another
about that
time.
too.
We have a little bit of restraint here.
Why can't all of them be like the one from Rainforest?
Oh my god, I miss him.
we'll talk about him later.
Who's
We'll
so
talk about him
sweet.
later.
Anyways, okay, back to.
Whose story were we on?
We were on mine.
You just
and then I
finished.
finished. So I
I
guess
wanna.
now it's.
No, I wanna do.
You wanna do one?
Story that doesn't count.
And then we'll end cap on.
I was a dumb kid. That sounds surprising. I mean,
Whoa!
look at me. I used to live at a big house down the road, like big house. We weren't rich, but I don't know.
Just
I
gotta leave at
whisper,
9.
whisper.
Ashton, wake up.
I'm not even sleeping. I was just looking down.
Don't look down. I was okay. We lived up there. I was the only sibling that lived up there. I lived with my grandparents, so it was just me. And me, being me, I got bored all the time. And if you walk out into the grass, there's a barbed wire fence, and past that barbed wire fence, there was cows. I love cows. They were my best friends.
Best friend.
I didn't have any friends that would come to my house and play with me, so my best friends were cows. And one day we had, I think it was my relatives over, we were playing ball outside, but we were playing it right by the fence, the barbed wire fence that
Ooh.
separated the cows from us. Someone threw the ball.
Who was in danger? The cows or you?
Me. The cows, I think, were. I don't even think the cows were up there. I think they were down. Whatever. My brother threw the ball over the fence. Me being me, wanting to be the savior of the day, getting the ball, went in there, grabbed it, and my hair got caught in the fucking barbed wire. I was sitting there like this, like trying, like not moving, trying to get out of it, and a cow walks his happy way over to me and starts eating my hair.
Oh my god.
I was like, this is the worst fucking thing ever. And then like 10 minutes later, he's still munching away. My grandpa comes out. He's like, oh, I think I gotta get you unstuck now. I'm like, I've been here for 10 minutes.
Did he actually like chew off part of your hair?
No, he was just.
Okay.
Like, he wasn't actually. Yeah, he wasn't actually eating it, but he had it in his mouth. I'm like, oh. And then this is a different story. During the winter time, we had this big hill. We had a big hill, and we had a driveway. I chose to slide down the driveway instead of on the hill because I had PTSD because my dad pushed me into a tree and almost broke my nose when I was a kid. But at the end of the driveway, we had a truck just still in there. So I would sit at the top of the hill and slide down the driveway trying to get out because it was like the area and then there was the driveway. I slid right under the truck. I was flat under the fucking truck and I just started crying and my brother had to run up and get my grandpa to get me out of under the truck, even though I could have just crawled my ass out from under the truck. I think I was too traumatized to get pulled out of the truck.
Maddie can never go sledding again.
I go sledding, just not on driveways. Not on driveways with cars at the bottom of it.
Since the bluffy roads are gonna get covered in snow, we have to do car sledding. It's so
You guys
fun.
should come sled
Are we
with
gonna
the
play King of
giant
the Hill?
hill at my house.
Oh god.
Huh?
Can we play King of the Hill? We'll just punch each other.
Yeah.
Just like
That segues perfectly into my story.
Go ahead.
Okay. My story is my one criminal
No.
testimony.
Oh yeah.
Bum, bum, bum.
So, when I was a kid, I used to play tons of King of the Hill with Ashton mainly. But like
I was
a
there.
bunch of people at my bus stop and a bunch of people from around Bluffview, and there's like this was on snow hills, and we would specifically like shove people off like with full force. Like people would catch some air. Like that is dangerous for children. And like below, it was always like that weird time of year where the snow is like melted and then refrozen, so it's just ice. And then one time we were playing at an area where the ice was really thin at one part and it was just concrete. Me and my sister, and then these two guys. I only remember one of them. We'll call him. Stadium.
Stadium.
We'll call him Stadium.
Google Stadium.
Yes,
Yes,
Ashton.
Was it you or me who gave Georgie a concussion?
I do not remember.
For sure it was you.
Georgie.
How would you know?
Because he hates you.
True.
but goddamn. So my sister pushed this guy off the hill because it was King of the Hill, and she was amazing at King of the Hill, and he fell, and then he started crying, and we all knew we were in trouble, so we ran away from him, and he went home,
Of course.
and then he took us to court.
Actually?
Yes. This is the one time I've actually gone to court. I don't remember many images from
Yeah, I
inside the
don't
court, but I
think-
remember
I don't
what
think-
happened. I was in like the third grade.
Yeah, I don't
Third grade.
think I was there yet.
So it wasn't like vivid detail, but we went to court with this guy. He was trying to get a restraining order on us. Well, his mom was trying to get a restraining order on us.
Oh my god.
On
my God.
specifically my sister, because my sister gave him, and I quote, minor tissue damage,
Oh, cry about it.
which is a bruise. He had a bruise from falling
Oh,
onto the
wow.
asphalt from a snow hill.
The what fault?
But then I was called to the stand because apparently, and I do not remember this happening for the life of me, apparently I threatened to kill Stadium with the knives in my kitchen while we were riding on the back of the bus. Apparently I said to Stadium, I will kill you with the knives in my kitchen. And so, I do remember what I said on the stand. I went up, and like the absolute law genius I am, I declared that I do not recall stating this, but if I have said this, which I do not recall, I apologize. I never meant it sincerely. And again, I am sorry. That is
Low third
pretty
grade,
much what
though?
I said.
I mean, to
Yes.
be fair, how old were you?
But I think
Third grade.
I do remember like their expressions. They all thought I was just a cute kid, and that
Aw.
this was a really stupid case. But they did end up getting a 500 feet restraining order on my sister for pushing him off a snow hill in a mutual game of King of the
Is
Hill
it still going
and
on
giving him a
today?
bruise. No, it ended
Bro,
years ago.
imagine.
But-
You probably couldn't even follow the order because you had to ride the same damn bus.
Yeah, it only applied to outside of school, and we both lived in Bluffview, which is like she couldn't go to half of Bluffview legally. I mean,
She still did anyways.
well, yeah, but she never came in contact with him over there.
That's true.
And this was years ago. Mr. Law, people, it does not apply.
I feel like
No.
how are you gonna get a
Imagine
restraining
he
order on like
sees her
what?
and he's
8-year-old?
like, you lose me. Restraining order. Fuck you.
Oh my god, but he was well, his mom was probably the driving force of it, but he was not great to be around. This.
Okay, now
I would not like to win despite how much I talk today, just so I can share the
just
gracious wealth of
Bitched about
hosting.
your day.
To be fair, yeah.
I
you
did take out 2 points for you bitching about your day.
Yeah, I just
Sorry,
I just
buddy.
needed to get
I'm
it
sorry.
out.
I'm
2 minutes.
Maddie, I'll propose
No,
to you
like
with the
15
whoosh ring if you let me win.
Points, more points, more points. So, if I did my math correctly, Ashton, I gave you some points. I took away some points. I took away points for you eating fucking venison because venison is disgusting.
What's wrong with venison?
So gross.
It's just deer meat.
That's so gross. But I did give you 3.
Family.
I gave you 3 points for naming your brother Average. And I think I gave everyone like 8 points for being funny because I'm generous. Did my math right? You got 14 points. Alrighty.
I think we should have Christian minors
Actually-
guest star.
Okay. I gave you 3 points for the Mall of America.
Okay.
I gave you 2 points for having plural moms.
That's true.
And I gave you a point for saying wonky donkey.
That did make you guys laugh for some
Wait.
reason.
So,
Should the title be Porple or Wonky Donkey?
Porple, no. You have 9 points.
Awesome.
Phil, I get minus 2 points for taking up a lot of the time
Yeah.
when you're talking. I gave you 3 points for your sister. I gave you 3 points for saying I will kill you with a knife in my kitchen.
I don't think I actually said that. I was just accused
In
of
testimony
saying
of the
that.
court, you did not say that.
I gave you 2 points for naming the kid's stadium. And I gave you a point for being a cute kid, so you have 8 points. And Carly,
Didn't you say Ashton had 14?
you have 14. I gave you +2 for divorced parents.
Yeah.
I
There
gave
you
you
go.
+2 for your siblings' names. Dipshit
yeah.
and Shipdit.
To be fair, I didn't
I,
agree
gave-
to dip.
I
shit
took
dip.
away a point for Black Mold, and I took away a point for your dad because he's an asshole.
That's
And
a
I
story
gave
for
you
another
3
time.
for a proposal, so you win with 15 points.
Fuck!
Maddie, will you marry me with this whoosh ring?
Yes. I will absolutely. My finger is deep in.
Oh my god. Your whole acrylic is just filled.
Acrylic. We need to go bowling.
We have to go bowling now, guys. That
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say? You have 3 minutes.
Nah, deserved.
We're
getting
May I give
married.
a gracious loser speech?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have lost today in this losing effort of a losing battle.
Ooh, freaking you.
Our gracious host was not as gracious, was not honest. I did not get to host my second of 3 episodes.
You didn't win because you were a
And
goose ass.
I oppose this. I do not accept this mentally. And I will bring to the table more stories, take up more of the episodes next time.
You said gracious loser.
The more stories you
So-
add, the more points we take away.
I don't make me record
Phil
a
starts with,
solo
like,
episode.
Phil starts with 10 points.
That'd be a really good
Every
spell.
time.
Exactly. As the story just goes down and
He just
down and
takes
down.
away the more he
Every
talks.
minute he takes explaining the story, just knocks him.
Next time I host, all of you are invited. None of you can talk. The topic will be me and my story.
No one will watch the goddamn episode. Still worst episode of gamers we've ever made.
It just filled with an air horn honking at everyone who talks. Me.
Nah, I'm probably gonna talk about like pets or jobs or something.
True.
Does that mean I get to pick the topic?
Yeah. But
Lettuce and jerky's
yeah.
alright.
I don't know.
Are
It
you
just
gonna
isn't as growing in flavor.
Say the closing.
Say the closing.
As compared to what?
The funniest one.
Gamers log out. Gamers disconnect. No.
The game.
okay, and with that,
Gamers log out!
no, not log. Gamers out.
No! Gamers log out!
Like and subscribe.
Is that gonna be the ending to
That's
everyone?
always-
I just think it's really funny if we all just end up arguing at the very end, and then I just say like and subscribe.
Even if you're not there for that episode, we have
Yeah,
to
we
add that
just have
voiceover.
superimpose it.
As compared to what other meat?
What?
Your mom's.
Not chicken, because chicken has no flavor. But the thing about chicken is that the chicken is your canvas to get flavor.
I gotta leave.
Alright. Keep the microphone plugged in this time.
We love keeping the microphone plugged in.
Oh, don't make it too close, because then it's gonna
Yeah,
be
they're
loud
super
again.
loud.
But then I can turn us down. There's a limit to how much I can turn us up, but there is less of a limit to how much I can turn us down.
Turn down for what?
I hate that you both started doing that. It's gross.
I mean, what other joke was there to be made?
Telephone.
You're
I present to you some.
It sounded like he was saying see that though.
Anyway.
You guys ready to start?
Always.
Yeah,
Never.
Are you
of
sure?
course.
I don't
Of
wanna
course
read-
we are.
I don't want to read this.
We're always ready to. Well, you don't have to read.
No.
You can paraphrase. Can you read?
Don't say
Are
so
you-
good.
Are
I'm
you
Evan, I
illiterate?
can't read. I'm Evan, I can't read. Greetings,
No,
listeners!
shut
Shut
the
the
fuck up. Your sunglasses look so stupid.
The way those broke.
Wait, they just look stupid though. Wait, come back. It was a joke.
We take our intros very seriously.
Those
We're
are
not gaming
those are just
podcast.
suns.
Those are just glasses, bro.
No, there's no glass anymore. You look like Playboy billionaire Tony Stark.
I think it's like under there somewhere.
We take our intros very seriously here at Gamers Podcast.
Got anybody?
Hello, everybody. My name is Morgan.
No,
No, you're
like,
not
I don't
going.
wait for you to get the fuck up. This is just gonna be like the outro bit. It's like the 4
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone got their story ready?
Yes.
I have a story.
Do you have titles
It's just like I
made
have
in your
like,
mind?
Yes.
can I combine like a couple of stories into one?
That's fine. Shut up. What's the thing is, kids are stupid.
Yeah.
Are you good? Don't hit the car. cakes
You
out.
got 10 minutes, Maddie. You're working on timer now.
Get the cake. Dumb fuck, get the cakes!
You're the closest to the
God.
cakes. Fun fact: the recliner reclines.
The sponsor for the episode is the
Re-recline it!
The sponsor of the episode is the Batman cupcakes Ashton did not want to pay for, but I made him pay for them. They were $7.99, $7.999.
4 9s. Watch out for the cord.
Oh shit!
Audio listeners, we love you to the death, but Maddie is shoving the cupcakes into the camera.
Watch out for the cord.
It's right there. There's so many fucking stickers on it.
At
Oh,
least
it's made on the
2.
20. It's eat by the 25th. It's fine.
What day is it?
It is the 20th.
We got 5 days with these guys.
5 nights.
Can you just call me?
Whoa. Who said I was talking to you?
Okay.
Talking to me.
We have 3 chocolates and 3 vanillas. I want this one. I want the Jomker from Jomker.
Which ones are
You got Pow. You got
I want
Whoosh.
Pow.
You got Whoosh and you got Pow and you got Bat
I
Symbol.
want vanilla pow.
Why don't you?
Can I have a chocolate one?
Yeah, which one do you want? Do you want Pow, Whoosh, or the Bat Symbol? No, Whoosh, right there.
Average roof.
Like a
Should we
mess.
call this episode The Cakes?
The cakes.
The cakes. Which cake would you
Or
like?
I
the-
think it should be called
I want the
Purple.
chocolate butt symbol.
We should call it Purple.
We should call it purple.
No, Porple. Porple.
Purple.
Take the butt symbol. Actually, you get either Whoosh or you get green Whoosh or
I want-
red Pow.
I want pow.
Oh.
They were sugar
Ha ha
around their
ha
bag.
ha ha ha. Jocker says that.
No.
Then why did you buy the cupcakes?
She made
I
me.
forced him to buy the cupcakes.
These are non-consensual cupcakes.
How does one not consent to cupcake?
Unconscious people don't want tea.
Well, if I'm ever
Shut the
unconscious,
fuck
I
up.
want tea. I think tea is delicious.